Okay, we are live.
Hello and good afternoon. It is indeed my pleasure to welcome all of you for this session. Well, it's nice and bright and sunny in New Delhi, and I'm hosting you from our regional office in India, and I have with me Dr. Professor Renold Shira. Dr. Professor Renold Shira is a professor in brain-computer interfaces and neural engineering within our Department of Computer Science and Electronic Engineering. He's also the co-director for the Essex BCI NE Lab. Dr. Shira obtained his PhD degree in computer science from Graz University of Technology in Austria in 2008. And I'm extremely delighted to have him on this YouTube live session, which is being hosted by SIUK. So over to you, Dr. Shira. Uh, the idea is that he's going to take you through a short presentation, and we are happy to take questions from you eager students at the end of the session.
Perfect, and thank you very much for the introduction. Let me share my screen. Okay, so the screen should be live. Yeah, again, welcome. My name is Reinhold Scherer, and just go on slide number 2. And I'm not only a professor in brain computer interfaces and neural engineering, but I'm also the director of postgraduate thought admission here in the School of Computer Science and Electronic Engineering at the University of Essex. And in the next, 10, 20, depends, minutes, I'm going to talk to you about, I'm gonna introduce the university a little bit and our school more specifically. So I want to show you what you do, who we are. And then, of course, I would like to show you which choice of postgraduate courses you have. And also I will help you to navigate our web pages so that you are able to find the information which you're looking for. So let's start with where we are. Most of you familiar with the UK. Here's London. Wait, let me share. Let me change this to laser pointer. Yes. So here's London, and here's Colchester, and here's where the University of Essex is located. So it's a really nice place. I would like to start with the place first, with the environment. So this is Colchester Castle. Colchester is the oldest recorded town in Britain. So came from Roman times, so you have really nice old sites. But of course, it's also a really good time. You will have a really good time if you manage to come here. This is Mersey Island, so it's close to the sea. So you have a lot of opportunity, not only to study and get a good education, but also to relax and enjoy life, which is very important. But let's go to the university. So what you see here is an aerial view. And so you see it's very green. It's in big green areas, big parks, sports facilities, everything included. In the background here, you see Colchester City. And here at this location, this is the Computer Science and Electronic Engineering building. So we are located in this specific space. Now, if you talk about the department, the university has 3 faculties: science and health, social sciences and humanities. And we are in the faculty of health, science and health, and we are grouped together with psychology, health and social care, mathematics, biological sciences, sports, rehabilitation, and exercise sciences. Now, why do I mention this? Because this is a really good opportunities for collaborative thesis projects. I'm working in a very interdisciplinary field. So brain-computer interfaces is at the intersection of engineering, computer science, biology, medicine. So there are many, many different areas intersecting. And so it's really good to have an environment where you can go into the deep learning your areas of interest, but also you have really good opportunities to kind of get a broad overview and have good collaborations. So this is really one of the main, at least from my point of view, really a strong point for Essex. But let's talk about our school a little bit more in detail. So we have 60+ academics and 18+ professors. Why I say 18+? Because of obvious reasons at the moment, not everyone still managed to come here, but we are a growing community and working in different areas. So the areas we work on is in artificial intelligence for decision making. So this group aims at understanding and building systems which model, support, or nudge decision making of autonomous entities. So how can we really support humans to make decisions in autonomous ways with machine? The second group is the brain-computer interfaces and neural engineering group, which I have the pleasure to co-lead. And we specialize in non-invasive research in this case, and develop brain-computer interfaces and expand the knowledge of our understanding of the brain. So we do some basic neuroscience. So there also, again, the link to psychology is very important. And we want to develop devices which directly interface a computer with the brain. The next group is the communications and networks group. And as the name already suggests, this group designs the next generation of wireless communication network architectures and systems. Very important now, especially since we are all connected online, and communication and networks are increasingly becoming more and more important. Fourth, we have the embedded and intelligent systems group, and they carry out research in the areas of embedded systems, system on chip design, and of course with focus on security and performance, and also the Internet of Things on distributed sensor nodes. Also something which is becoming more and more relevant nowadays. We have the natural language and information processing group, which works on natural language processing, information and image retrieval, and formal semantics. So basically they deal with all the different aspects which you need to solve if you type into your favorite search engine some keywords, and at the end you really end up with finding the information you're looking for. And then last but not least, we have the robotics and mechatronics group. And this group, they researches development of various kinds of mechatronic systems and also intelligence robots, and also the coexistence between humans and robots. So these are the six different groups which we currently have, and which are the main research area here in our school. Now, what we also have, we not just have very interesting groups and very good researchers, but we also have good links to industry and facilities. So British Telecom, British Aerospace, Google, Microsoft. So again, being close to London and having a strong focus on AI and neural engineering technology gives us access to quite a number of companies which want to do research with us. And so students also have opportunities there. Of course, another important thing if you want to study is having access to facilities. And we have a couple of laboratories, so 6 to be more specific. 3 are open 24/7. And we also virtualized the whole lab experience, so to say, which is easier, of course, for computer scientists than for electronic engineers. But everything can also be done from a web browser, basically having access from home to the lab. Of course, we have state-of-the-art machine with all the different softwares which you need in order to do your computer science or your more electronic engineering oriented work. Just a couple of pictures. I don't show videos here, but at the end of the presentation, I will give you a couple of links where you can really see the facilities in more details and see some of the academics make statements and discuss. Okay, but what you see here, is the robotics lab, the engineering, electronics lab, again, the robotics lab, network facilities we have. And this is part of the BCI lab here. This is a machine where I guess you can see the cap. So we read the brain activity by measuring the bioelectrical voltages from the outside of the brain, but at the same time, this is a stimulation unit. We can also stimulate the brain, so to say. Okay, but you see we have some really nice facilities. We also just got opened pre-pandemic a new STEM center with many laboratory rooms and many working places where students can work in group, like here. So you can see fully equipped, or simply for lectures, different rooms where students can go there, do their work and study. Now, this was about the facilities. How do we do in terms of research? We just submitted the new REF. REF is an evaluation framework, independent evaluation framework, who judges the performance of universities in different aspects. One, of course, is research. And there we ranked, at least this is the last ref from last year. We are still awaiting the results of the new one. Not last year, but of the last time ref was performed, which was 2014. And there we ranked 11th in computer science in the UK from more than 100 institutions, which is quite good. We are also in the top 200 according to the Higher Times Education World University ranking. And also, what's more importantly, is 2/3 of the research we submitted is world leading and is internationally excellent. So the research we do really contributes to creating new knowledge to create an impact on society. So research-wise, we are doing really well, and also teaching-wise. So we have been awarded the gold status in 2017 and 2018. Essex was the University of the Year. These numbers now, so we have really high student satisfaction rates, and also there are really high employment rates. But these numbers, they reflect most the undergraduate courses, because postgraduates, we are not able to follow the career of all the students. But typically, people who graduate, they all have very good employment chances. Also, one point which I like to focus, also because I'm the director of Athena SWAN, which means we really focus and want to provide an inclusive environment. So everyone is welcome, and we treat each other respectfully. So this Athena SWAN is just one award which we got just to show that we try to include, to really provide an inclusive environment, and especially to focus on women in computer science, and give them opportunities. But of course, everyone gets good opportunities. Okay, so this was just some of the admin stuff to give you an idea of what's going on, get an idea how Essex, how the facilities look like, who you will be kind of meeting if you join us. Now I would like to give you a brief overview about the different courses we offer. So I simply group them here by subject. The first is computational finance. Then we have courses in computer science, of course, data analytics, engineering, and robotics. And also something which is very important, which I want to note here, is that all these courses, if you take them full-time, they are designed with a planned time commitment of 40 hours per week. So typically the face time will be 4 hours per module. Typically you have 2 hours of lectures and 2 hours of lab or class. So you will meet with your staff for 4 hours. But then, of course, the rest of the time is where you should learn and try to improve your skills on your own. So just to be very clear about it, it's like having a full-time job, doing a course of the duration of 1 year. Okay, now which courses do we offer? This again are just some keywords. They might change in the future. But we have, of course, for computer scientists, undergraduate, we have the advanced computer science degree. We have the computer networks and security degree, the computer games, if you're interested in gaming, computer engineering, big data and text analytics, artificial intelligence, which of course is one of the emerging trends in the past year, and job opportunities grew every year by an impressive amount. What we also have, we have an artificial intelligence and application conversion course. Conversion means that you don't need to have a computer science based undergrad degree. So the course is designed in a way so that people with no or limited knowledge still get a kind of introduction into artificial intelligence and how these methods can be applied. Okay, then of course we have electronic engineering, intelligent systems, computational finance, financial technology, and so on. So these are all the different keywords, and I don't want to go too much into detail. I just would like to pick one course and guide you through basically the web page so that you are able to find the information you're looking for. There's so much information on the web page, but I would like to point you at the essential bits and pieces for you. So if you want to find out more, go on the webpage or use internet search engine and type in Essex CC Master or PGT courses, and you will get several hits, and some of these hits will include these links here. So basically, this is a screenshot of the web page. Either you see here, there's the find a course option. If the web page looks differently, then there's the magnifying glass here in the right upper corner, where you can then pick the course, and then you can type in keywords of interest, and then you will arrive at the different courses, or you basically have a look at this course by subject division grid, and here you see all the different courses which we offer. And again, you scroll down here, and until you see computational finance here, for example, or here next to it, this is computer science. And if you click on computer science, you will find a list of the different courses. And in this case, I picked the artificial intelligence course because most people or many students are interested at the moment in taking this course. So I take the opportunity and talk about this course more specifically. So we talk about the MS, artificial intelligence, here just as an example. Now, what's relevant for you is here the entry requirement. I hope you can see it on the screen, but let me zoom in a little bit. So if you click on entry requirement, what you see is what the current entry requirements are. And what you can see here is a 2.2 degree or equivalent in different fields. So like in this case, 2.2, what does mean? This is a UK division, so there should be some conversion tables for your country or for your university which you participated. Basically, typically it means you have to have 50% or so or higher in order to be admitted. And you should have taken one of these classes, because this gives you the basics to really understand and be able to progress in your master's studies. Again, if you have a computer science, for example, module course, what you need is a programming module, which should be straightforward, a maths module, which everyone should have in computer science, and another computer relating module. So basically, if you have a computer science degree and you have these modules, or you have a degree which maybe it's not really listed here, but has these modules, then definitely your chances are good of being accepted. And then if you scroll down, of course, the second requirement, since it's study in the UK, is the English language requirement, which means it has to be IELTS 6 with a minimum of 5.5. So these are the requirements. Specific undergraduate and English requirement, and then you should be having no issues being accepted. If you then click on the structure sheet, you get some information how the structure or how the course is structured. Again, the interesting part here is to see the full list of modules. And then what you get is basically a list of these different modules which you will take in this year of masters if you do it full time. What you see maybe here, this is just a number. Here's the module code, the title, and here it's also whether it's core or compulsory. So whether in this case they are compulsory. You see these 6 modules are compulsory, so you have to do them. Of course, you have to write a thesis, but you also have some optional modules which you can pick from this list here. And here you see always how much one module is. Typically, our modules are 15 credits, so it means you will have 3 optional. You can pick 3 optional modules in this case. But let's have a look at the machine learning and data mining module. So if you click on the code, you will find a page like this where you list all the details. And if you scroll down, maybe what's interesting for you is the module outcomes. So this is where it tells you what you will be able to do after you took the class or the course. And maybe even more important for you, if you scroll further down, is the assessment. So here you see, in this case, this is a full coursework assessment, so no exam. And you also see the weightings of how much each piece of coursework contributes to the final grade. So this might be interesting for you, especially if you come here and want to plan your time. Might be good to plan accordingly. And then if you have questions, again, and this does not only apply if you join us, so you're welcome to send emails to me or use the UniBuddy system which university offers. But you're also welcome to send emails to module supervisors. I'll be able to answer some of the questions, but it is very specific to a module. I might be not the person who can really answer this. And so send to the module supervisor emails if you have very specific questions about the modules. They will be happy to help you. So this is where you can find the information. Just 2 more slides. What we also offer is, of course, all of you students are very creative and yeah, can take up many opportunities. So if you also plan to start businesses, there's a support. So the Essex Startups Groups helps students creating their own business and provides different opportunities, different avenues. So just to let you know about this. And also, if you're interested to learn more about this, there's a link where you also can listen to some talks or participate to some taster online lectures so that you get a feeling of how it is to study at Essex. So that's it. I hope it was not too brief or too confusing, but I'm happy to take questions now. So if you, again, here my contact details, if you have questions, send me an email. And also, if you're interested in seeing some of the facilities in action, here are a couple of links, which will, on YouTube or Vimeo, which shows you the facilities we have and guides you through the different labs so that you get an even better understanding and feeling of, what it is to study at Essex. Okay, I hope this was now clear. I stop now, and I hope there are some questions which I can answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reinhold. Indeed, there are a lot of questions, and well, let me start by asking the first question. Ankit Singh, well, from India, asks that what is the difference between MSc Artificial Intelligence and the MSc AI and its applications? So what's the difference between these two courses, and which one is better?
The difference is, as I tried to explain before, one is a full AI course for people who have computer science background, and the AI and its application is a conversion course, which is designed for people who do not have this background. So in this case, if you have no idea about artificial intelligence or computer science or cannot code, then probably the conversion course is the one for you, because it introduces you to the field. If you already have a computer science background and you want to dig deeper, of course, then the AI course is the one for you, because we don't need to bring the students up to speed and learning them basically the basic maths and basic coding skills which you need in order to implement it. So better in this context, it really depends on what you expect and what your level is. But this is the main differences. One is designed for computer scientists or engineers who have specific skills. The second one is designed for people who come in from different areas but still want to learn about AI.
Thank you for that answer. There is a follow-up question from that, which is that then what are the entry requirements? And let me use an example here. Let's say put someone with a business degree or a business bachelor's, and maybe a few virtual certifications in AI. Will they be selected for the artificial intelligence
Yes.
and its applications?
The only entry requirement for the AI and its application course is a 2.2 degree in any area. Mm-hmm. So you need to have some basics, and then of course, if you decide to do this, and over the summer might be a good idea to start coding, so that you just get some advantage. But that's the only requirement, really. I have a 2.2, but again, we strongly encourage if you come from outside, because again, from outside the area, it's just better if you come a little bit prepared, because otherwise it would be very overwhelming if you never heard about these mathematical concepts. And so again, it's not required. I just highly suggest everyone, so just that we are clear and on the same page, that if you decide to do this, try to get a little bit into the coding experience, so that you just save time and trouble basically later on, because we don't want you to fail just because it took you longer to understand some coding concepts.
Are there any other suggestions with regards to skills which these graduates can pick up? A really good example of that is how we have a lot of people who've essentially studied business, then worked for a few years in organizations within, within the AI spectrum, and they've done different kind of jobs. So they kind of have that work experience, but do not
Right.
have the excellent coding skills. Are there any other skills which you could maybe recommend? And there are a lot of websites offering these free programs, so always a good idea for people to come prepared.
Exactly. Now, I mean, if someone really has a lot of experience, the important thing is just to show it in the application. So if someone, studied business, as you say, or arts, but then spent, 5 years as a software developer, of course, this person qualifies if you can show that you have the skills. So not just saying I did it, but provide some evidence, especially in the personal statement or in the CV. I now talk directly to students. So really provide evidence if you maybe don't have what's in the criteria, but you have it, so but not on the transcript. Just be sure to really show and highlight that you can do it. The thing what happened if it's not clear, maybe a colleague of mine or I will get back to you and ask you, or we have a brief conversation just to be sure that you have the skills, because we want to, of course, that everyone completes the course in time and succeeds. And since there's also teamwork involved, of course, we have to be sure that the level is at a specific a certain criteria, so that other students are not negatively impacted. So we just want to make sure that this is not the case. But again, everything you can do to just catch up on some of the skills which might be needed, just do it and show it in the application. It's just helpful.
So is it worth adding that it's worth taking a look at the modules and see whether whether are there any basic skills which you want to top up or you want to acquire
Yes.
before reaching? So I think that is a really that is a really useful tip. So thank you very much for that. Uh, I've
And
got a
talking,
follow-up
if
question.
I just can add one more point, is that if you think about this, Python is a good way to start. So try to learn Python, because especially with AI, either R, which is a statistical language, or Python or MATLAB are the tools, but Python is becoming the most widespread language. So if you learn this, the difference is just syntax at the end. So whatever you learn, but if you start fresh, start with Python, because this is what most people will be using or will be. I talk now about the AI, of course, not for other courses or computer science focused courses. There probably Python is the way to go. So
Thank you. I've got a follow-up question from that, and this is from another student. So what are the entry requirements for artificial intelligence? I, as I'm answering that, and as Dr. Shearer mentioned in the past, that the web page particularly mentions the entry criteria. On the website, if you go to, let's say you select the course, artificial intelligence, and its applications, you go to that particular program and you scroll down, you would see your entry criteria as a 2-2 in your undergrad degree. And what that means is for most institutions in India, a 2-2 is around a 55% or a 5.3 GPA. It also, when we look at applications from India, we also consider the kind of institution you have applied from. So let's say if you're from a public university like Delhi, Mumbai, or Anna University in Chennai, then the entry criteria can be slightly different. So I think it's best that you get in touch with us before making an application. Or if you're a good thumb rule is that if you've scored around a first class, which is quite common because Indian students are intelligent. If you scored anywhere about a 56, 57%, or about a first class, which is a 60%, then we should be in a good position to accept you. Apart from the application process and just your grades, there is a statement of purpose which is also really important. And as Dr. Shearer mentioned, that do talk about your work experience, or any of the skills that you have within your statement of purpose. Do not plagiarize. So do make sure that your statement of purpose is a reflection of what you've studied, what you've learned, and why do you want to come and apply to Essex. We know our rankings already, so don't really quote them back at us, but instead tell us more about uh, what would you like to do after studying this degree. Get the right references. So if you have some work experience, get us references from your work and one reference from your academic institution. And I think that is essentially the overall profile of what we look at. So we look at your marks, we look at your grades, we also look at a statement of purpose on why do you want to apply for this course, and we will require two references, uh, either from your academic institution or from the place of study. I have another question. So moving on to the next question, there is a student who is asking us uh, that would a BCA degree, which is a computer applications, bachelor's of computer applications degree, without any work experience, work for applying for an MSc computer engineering program? Now, this is a very specific, regional specific question, but in the past, I have seen that most BCA degrees from India are accepted. So I think best to check with us, because what is really important is that the modules which you studied as a part of your BCA degree should be in alignment of what we require. What we require is on the website, as we've already mentioned. So I think in all probability, we will accept a BCA.
Maybe I can add to this, because I get them. So I'm also the academic selector. So if it's not clear, they end up on my desk. So yes, I've accepted. Again, the important thing is, and I liked what you said before, Sandeep, it's not plagiarizing the personal statement or so, but really just be honest of what your skills are, what you want to do, or what you expect, because then we can make a good judgment. Because worst case, you get accepted and then you're overwhelmed, and maybe you miss, or you lose 1 year because you don't pass, and this is not what you want, and this is not what we want. So just be honest. Let's have a discussion, and if your skills fits, we are more than happy then train you further. And if they don't fit, I think it's not responsible for us to push you in a direction which is maybe not but at least based on the data you provide, the best choice for you. It's sometimes hard. I agree, not being accepted, but see it also as an opportunity, and maybe it's there are many other choices at the end. Anyway, but I just would second what was said so far.
Thank you for that. I've got another question where a student is asking about common partner companies for graduate careers on campus, and what are the kind of opportunities a student can look at after studying electronic engineering, and do we guarantee placements? So, well, it's a question in three parts. Maybe it's worth talking about the company's common graduate destinations, and the other opportunities which will arise as a result of finishing this program. But I can take the last part about guaranteed placements. I mean, in the UK, UK institutions do not guarantee placements the way Indian institutions do, because what we essentially do is we want to equip you with the right skills, with a fantastic degree, and we are an academic institution which is focused on research and academia, and believe that these right skills and the right opportunities will arise as a result of your hard work which you've done as a part of the degree. So we do have links with companies. We organize fests on campus. There are employability fests. There are specific people within the employability center who are there to support you with jobs. But there are no guarantees as such, because that is not something most British institutions like Essex believe in. Our degrees are sufficient for you to go out there and find jobs. The idea is for you to work hard and also start early with the job application process. So over to you, Dr. Rini, if you'd like to add to that.
Yeah. I mean, we get this question often, which companies. I mean, again, what I can say, I cannot. I mean, I named some of the companies. There's also Intel. I mean, there are different companies in the UK. And again, guarantee, there is no guarantee because it always depends on the economic situation. You know, this year probably was a little bit more tricky to get internship or secondments compared to other years. So it really, this guarantee, we just can guarantee a good education, but not that you then get the job where you want. But of course, many of our academics have collaboration with the industry and industrial partners. So I guess this is a discussion you should then start, maybe especially when you pick your thesis project, because this will basically be with you for the whole duration, more or less, of this year. So really pick a topic, maybe even in collaboration with a company if possible, which really gives you the skill, but also creates the network, which is very important to get a job later on. So again, the first one, what we are doing, I'm currently trying to get companies together so that we can put them on the webpage of our webpage. At the moment, this is true. This information is kind of missing. But again, it's also difficult to track because if students don't agree that we send them emails, we cannot ask them where they go, and we don't know out of the box where they go. It's easier for undergraduates. So therefore, it's just challenging for us to track and see where people go after their postgraduate. But what I would like to emphasize is that what the university has a career service center. So as soon as you're a student, you can interact with them and they have all the contact details and they will try to get you in contact with companies and try to help you get secondments and internship. So while there's no company which now can tell you this will take you, because it depends on many factors, there is support for you which helps you double check the CV, puts you in contact with the right people so that you get placements. And I just know from this year I had one module, second year students, and some of them were looking for internship and most of them have been successful and got some positions. So there is the opportunity, the potential. There's just no, it's not a 100% situation, or as Sandeep was saying, but we try to support you as much as possible.
Well, thank you very much for that answer. I have another follow-up question from a student where he's asking about the COVID situation in the UK and on campus, and are we going to be teaching in a blended learning method for the September intake, or is it going to be face-to-face?
I mean, we plan face-to-face. We'll see. It is a difficult question, but I think especially for electronic engineering or robotics degrees, you need to work with the hardware in the lab and to create the solutions. Simulations work. Yeah, this year we thought about, or we implemented many simulations, but it's just not the same fun, let's say, especially for engineers who want to create something. So the plan is definitely to have labs in face-to-face. But again, it's difficult to say. This year, I can just say what we did this year, because we had this blended learning. Yeah, so students could even pick and select on a daily basis if they want to do online learning or want to come on campus. Of course, until then, the restriction in the UK was so tough that we had to move everything online. At the moment, with the vaccination, looks good, but I guess it's very difficult to make this prediction for October. I mean, you see that what's happening worldwide with the Delta variant and with the increase. Hopeful vaccination kicks in and has a beneficial effect. And so even if the cases rise, but it's very difficult to predict. But mentally, we prepare for face-to-face because we think this is the proper way to educate and to interact with people. Humans are social individuals at the end, social animals, and no, not sure. I mean, some of you probably participated or attended many online lectures, and I just now explained my situation from a educator point of view. You look into Zoom screen with a lot of black screens on the window. No one has the camera on. It's like talking to a wall. So this social interaction is kind of a little bit missing, I think. And And I think this is but really, really important, just to discuss it in a way to really kind of grasp the meaning, so that you really can internalize it and make good of use and truly understand it. So yeah, no, this was not now the answer to the question, but it's difficult to say. We plan face to face. If not, we are well equipped to do everything, so we can go back face to face. If not, with the experience we had last year, and students' feedback was quite good, so we moved then everything online. We have Moodle. You have access to the whole lab, except for some of the robotic and hardware devices, from your web browser. So we have we have the lab virtualized, but I think the experience is still different if you do it face to face. So, but again, we will see. The government will make a decision, and the university will then make the decision probably based on what's happening over the summer. But again, plan is labs definitely face to face, because this is how we learn.
Thanks for that. I'd like to add with regards to the COVID situation. India currently is in the red list, and what that means is that students who would be studying or applying, our deadline for application is the end of the next month, so end of August, if you want to start in October. And I think it's usually not really that late. It usually hasn't been that late. But that is one bit of flexibility which we are providing to students across sort of our international markets to apply at a later stage of the application cycle if they want to look at the October intake. Uh, Having said that, India currently is in the red list. So that means that students who would be arriving for the September intake would have to quarantine for a period of 10 days. Uh, this quarantine has to be done in a government approved facility, and there is a certain cost associated with it. So, £1,750 is the cost for quarantining for per person for a period of 10 days, which includes the cost of an RT-PCR test on the second and on the eighth day. So at Essex, what you finish your quarantine, you join campus, and you fill up a form, and we would be able to reimburse this entire cost, which is £1,750 to our students. And I think that is a fantastic gesture. Apart from that, Dr. Rini, you'd be very well happy to know that India's openly vaccinating above 18-year-olds. So it's quite common for our students to arrive on campus being fully vaccinated or partially vaccinated. And I think the most common vaccine is the Oxford AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine, which means that it is in line with the UK vaccination approved vaccination, and I think that certainly will make your life really easy. There are also, I mean, if I speak about the current situation of COVID on campus, if you can literally just book a test, go in and get a lateral flow test from our testing center. You can get tested you can get tested twice a week if you'd like, and that is our way of sort of ensuring that there is a limited spread of COVID on campus, and we're able to sort of be on top of the situation. We've done this before, right? So last year, when we hosted over 500 Indian students during the September 20 intake, we are equipped with making sure that there is sufficient support provided for you on our campus, and you're looked after. So, well, I can understand it's really you can be quite anxious about how things are going to be, but with all of these things that I mentioned, and of course there is an NHS health surcharge which you pay at the time of your visa that covers your treatment and vaccination cost for COVID. So I think overall these are services which would really be helpful for you. I've got another question. Moving on to Well, I've got a similar question about what kind of career opportunities are there for graduates of electronic engineering. Uh, would you like to cover that? Or we've covered that already. We've spoken about graduate careers.
I mean, again, there are many companies or industries in the UK which are looking for jobs. So I think the opportunities are there. I think what people are afraid of is the certainty that they get a job, which of course no one can provide because no one can predict so much. So in the future, even if we teach AI, it's still difficult making good predictions. So yes, I mean, I named some of the companies. I try to put definitely a wiki together because this is questions many ask me, and I know students went, for example, one did an internship at Intel now, others went to work with British Telecom. So these are definitely avenues which students typically pursue here. But again, the question is, if you do electronic engineering or robotics, what is it your interest? What is it the company you're looking for? The only thing I can say, there are opportunities, and Intel, these are some of them, and many also startups. There are many startups now emerging in the UK. Or even if you have a good idea, I mean, the university supports your own startup, trains you on how to do it. So I think the opportunities, they're there in the UK. And there are many opportunities. It's very often it's difficult to find the information just in time. But therefore I was saying, so if you apply and if you get accepted, get in contact with the career service, because they have all the contact information. They have all the details. They know better than I just can give you some company names, but I don't know the statistics behind. These people, they know what the chances will be or are, or what's strategically better, and they will support you. So if you want to work here, I think this is the way to go, because they are the professionals more than I am. I'm the academics in this case, and I support you. I'm happy to support you academically, but the career services are the people who are trained, and this is their daily job, to support students finding job placements and internships. So use this opportunity. Again, it's not the answer you want to hear. You want to hear big names, but I just cannot name them because, yeah, there are so many, and it depends on a year-by-year basis. But what I can tell you is take up the opportunity, get in touch with the service as quick as possible so that you have enough time to plan ahead. I think this is the important and sensible thing to do now. That's the big internships. So use this opportunity.
Thank you very much for that. I've got another question about how are campus jobs, how do campus jobs work during the current pandemic, and are internships or part-time projects offered as a part of the course?
So the answer to the second, yes. I know, as I told before, there are internships, so students work in companies, if possible, of course, and sensible to do. Again, with computer science, many will probably work at home and not go into the company regularly, but yes, there are definitely opportunities. Related to the first questions, I'm not sure how, so I'm not involved in the administrative things, how this would work at the university level or jobs at university, but I know they're always looking for opportunities, and there are always opportunities in different, whether it is to help researchers doing some research, where sometimes there are paid positions, or there are many kind of services also at university who are looking for people. So there's definitely the opportunity there in both cases. Yeah, but I'm not sure I understand the good question, but I just think say that yes, there are opportunities, but I don't know what you would need to do in order to take up these opportunities. My guess would still be contact career services.
Yeah, and I can add. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And I can add that students on when they get their visa, you're allowed to work part-time the moment you sort of enter campus. But it is a very common, I mean, it's a common question when I'm always asked, and I have been, recruiting for over 10 years for Essex. So, it is an extremely common question. I think do not look at immediately taking up part-time opportunities the moment you join on campus. To take time to settle in, understand the various teaching methodologies, because it's very different from the kind of background you've come in, right? A lot of Indian institutions do not have the level of research. They do not have a mix of sort of lab work and assignment work and projects and group study and so on and so forth. So do align yourself with all of these new methodologies of teaching and make friends with your, sort of fellow classmates and academics first, so that you have an overall, sort of fantastic institution experience, and your jobs will be a result or an outcome of this network and this work which you've done with the Employability and Career Center, and a combination of that, rather than sort of ignoring your studies and be involved with part-time work, because a lot of sort of off-campus part-time employers tend to exploit students simply because of this. So be aware and focus on your studies, because do not be, well, penny wise and pound foolish. So focus on the outcome, and if you get a fantastic degree with a better score, you have a better chance of landing a high-paying graduate job, rather than do something which is not related to your degree, just because you've spent a lot of your time trying to get part-time work during your 1 year at Essex. Most importantly, I mean, it is the big sort of premise for doing this session with SIUK is, I mean, and our students know that, of course, but for those of you who sort of joined later, the UK now offers a 2-year graduate immigration route, which is, the graduate route, which is called as the graduate route, which allows you to stay back for 2 years after finishing your 1-year master's. And that what that means is that the government then gives you 2 years to find the right job for you and build in that return on your investment. Most Indian students study on loans, so it is important for them to receive a sort of return on that investment they've made towards the tuition fees and living costs, and that eventually will happen, because you would get time to stay back in the UK now after finishing. This was launched in July, 1st of July 2021, and very much open to those of you who are looking to joining us in September and January. So a fantastic opportunity to take advantage of this a new graduate route.
Yeah, I could not agree more with what you just said, because as I told before, the courses are really designed for 40 hours per week. So if you do it full time and you have a job, either you are exceptional, so which there's no doubt, or you will start struggling at some point, and then you maybe lose this 1 or 2 point, which then in the future will make you maybe not be able to take up a specific opportunity. So I think the suggestion to be smart about the options, because again, there are so many options. Just be smart about one to pick and not make this mistake at the beginning. And I understand financial, I mean, some students may have to work, but if before coming here, maybe really plan in a way that you may not need to work immediately and right away, and you really can become part of the society, so to say, and the students community, because this will give you more advantages or open to maybe your doors and networks which otherwise you don't have access to. So well said.
I've got a few final questions coming up. So just sort of taking them and answering them. While doing a postgraduate degree, can students work part-time? Yes, so I've already answered that. You can work part-time for 20 hours per week. What is the duration for a master's degree? It is 1 year, so 12 months, which comprises of 9 months of academic study and 3 months of time for you to write a dissertation. I do not have any more questions. Is there anything else?
Maybe just to add, we always talked about full-time. So if you really want to work or have to work, there's the option to do part-time, which means everything doubles. You you don't finish your work in, you start in 1 year, but in 2 years, and you only have to attend or focus for 20 hours per week on the study. So this is one option if you really want to work or need to work part-time and can plan ahead.
Dr. Reno, are international students eligible to apply for part-time?
Good question. I don't know otherwise, but I don't know everything.
Yeah,
I think
for international students to get visas for a part-time study, unless.
I mean, I know international students, but now we're talking European countries, Eastern European countries who do it. No, maybe it depends on the type of visa and the type of agreement with country. I'm not sure. So maybe now I made a suggestion which is not possible for India. Sorry if this is the case.
Not possible for South Asian students.
Yeah.
So apologies for that.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd like to mention is that given the current COVID situation, Essex, as Dr. Reedy mentioned, is a fantastic town, and it's based in Colchester, which is a campus university. So accommodation is an extremely important part of your student experience. If you are an offer holder and you are listening to us, there is a requirement of a deposit which needs to be paid, which is £1,000 deposit, which you need to pay for receiving your CAS, so that you can apply for a visa, and the accommodation is on campus, so that also needs to be booked. So if you're an offer holder and you're listening to us, it's really important that you read your offer properly, go and finish those steps, and do not really wait any longer, because if you wait longer, then the entire process gets delayed. We are going to be starting in October, but it takes time to receive a CAS. It takes 3 weeks to get a UK visa. It takes time to sort of get a health checkup done for a TB test, which is also a requirement by the British government, so on and so forth. So well, you can either contact SI UK and your counselors there can help you, or you can contact us, and our email addresses are on the screen. Would you like to add anything to that, Dr. Reno? Is there anything else which you'd like to mention?
No, again, I just can't agree. So we agree too much today. That just smart planning ahead. So I'm not familiar with all these procedures, so I'm definitely not the person you should ask about this. But just consider that things take time, and now with COVID, they maybe take even more time, and October seems far away, but at the end it's just 2 months more. So because it's August, September, and then it already starts at some point. So just do all the necessary steps, get informed, ask Sandeep or ask people for help if you struggle, so that we can support you and achieve your goal. I think this is all I want to add and need to add.
Thank you very much for that really informative session, Dr. Reno. And it has been a pleasure to listen to you, understand the different different points about our courses, and I mean, more importantly, how to get the right information on our webpage, because a lot of information is already out there, right? And this lecture is recorded, so you can of course take a look at it later. But also on our website, we have similar recorded lectures from Dr. Reno. If you look at sort of the tab on recorded lectures, you would find it. Do stay in touch. Thank you very much for all of the students joining us from India. Cheers.
Yeah, thank you for the questions, and good luck, and hope to see you on campus.